Here's your neighborhood moment, a chance to find out about events, activities, and what's happening in your area.
Happy New Year, and welcome to our second Central Neighborhood Council Neighborhood Moment. I'm Luis Alonso, your host today. With me are Ana Arena and Charles Mann. We'd like to focus today on neighborhood enhancing activities in the Central Neighborhood Council. Since the early 2000s, Tacoma citizens have had use of the Scott Pierson Trail, which parallels State Route 16. It starts near State and South 25th Street and ends on the Gig Harbor side of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Despite the noise of the adjacent motor vehicles, it's a lovely, hard surface trail available for pedestrians, skateboarders, and bicyclists, all non-motorized transportation modes. The north end of the trail nearly connects to the Cushman Trail, which takes us all the way to Gig Harbor and Costco. Today, we wish to share the evolution of this valuable asset and reasons the CNC is so familiar with the trail.
The trail is named after Scott Pierson, born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Scott earned degrees from Oberlin College, University of Oregon, and the University of Puget Sound. Scott served the city of Tacoma for nearly 23 years as a planner, landscape architect, urban designer, and computer graphics specialist. In later years, he served as the neighborhood planner for South Tacoma. Scott's curiosity about social and environmental problems were conducive to his fertile imagination searching for solutions. He passionately encouraged others in their common struggle for a more convivial, environmentally sound society. Having lived in Eugene, a fitness-conscious town with well-distributed bike lanes and paths, Pierson envisioned a similar cycling infrastructure for Tacoma. Scott was a tireless advocate of traffic calming measures to increase safety measures and amenities for pedestrians and cyclists. Scott's many contributions benefited Tacoma. He worked on a variety of plans and projects to improve natural landscaping and non-motorized mobility. He influenced the crafting of Tacoma's first non-motorized transportation plan. The visionary plan focused on pedestrian and bicycle route systems with destinations to neighborhood business districts, public buildings, and connections beyond city limits. He worked with state officials to design and implement bike and pedestrian trails and parks in Tacoma. His professional and personal advocacy for pedestrians and cyclists improved mobility to, from, and within Tacoma. Scott worked diligently to bring environmentally sound transportation policy to Tacoma. Scott's leadership became apparent with his ability to garner funding to build projects. Scott received grants for a walkable communities workshop, a pedestrian crossing safety study, and Walk Your Children to School program.
Scott was also instrumental in the design of very familiar places to us, such as Ruston Way and Titlow Parks. He reviewed and approved landscape plans for hundreds of development projects around the city, ultimately leading to a new ordinance still in effect that requires more landscaping in new developments. Scott was the designer for the State Route 16 bike trail. His Gentle Ways network presented at a 1999 national conference and thus gained recognition both locally and regionally. That same year, the Bicycle Alliance of Washington recognized his strong support and advocacy for bicycle facilities and his lifelong commitment to bicycling as transportation. Scott devoted his energies to several professional non-motorized organizations. A few examples of these are the Tacoma Wheelmen's Bicycle Club, Foothills Rails to Trails Coalition, Bicycle Alliance of Washington, Rails to Trails Conservancy, and Transportation Choices Coalition. He also worked with the Boy Scouts, the University of Puget Sound, as well as community members to plant trees along freeways and other public places. Scott supported restoration of Tacoma's gulches to replace exotic plants with native species. He also constantly challenged fellow city planners to look at consequences of automobile-centric communities. No matter the weather, bicycling is like a vacation, he was fond of saying. Cycling provides opportunity to free one's mind.
Before his death, Pierson worked with state officials to ensure State Route 16 included something other than cars. A bicycle and pedestrian trail had been considered, and Pierson ensured state officials' commitment to make his non-motorized dream a reality. In addition to developing Tacoma's first non-motorized transportation plan, Scott helped create the Recreation and Open Space Facilities Plan, the Pierce County Bicycle Guide Map, and Helmets on Wheels program. Pierson started pushing the trail in the 80s, after discovering state officials had promised in 1977 to build a trail. Finally, construction started in 2004. The trail was integrated into the new Tacoma Narrows Bridge, allowing pedestrians and bicyclists virtually uninterrupted travel from the 25th Street trailhead to Gig Harbor's Cushman Trail. Pierson doggedly practiced what he preached, riding his bicycle to and from work virtually every day. In 2001, he collapsed and died while riding home from the grocery store one day before he would celebrate a 35th wedding anniversary with his wife, Bev. Doctors later found Pierson's excellent health had masked a severe congenital heart problem. Leaders of the Tacoma Wheelmen's Bicycle Club and Metro Parks Tacoma supported naming the trail in Pierson's memory. Pierson was posthumously awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award during the Washington State Department of Transportation's Footprints and Bike Tracks Conference. In August 2003, Tacoma and Pierce County leaders resolved to recognize Pierson's enthusiastic commitment to bicycling by naming the Scott Pierson Trail in Scott's honor. The trail is on state land, making the Highway Department responsible for its maintenance. In recent years, Washington transportation funding and resources have been slashed. The Scott Pierson Trail was beginning to age prematurely from lack of maintenance.
In its role improving the community, the Central Neighborhood Council is partnering with state officials, providing volunteers who gather several times a year to remove debris, shopping carts, and recyclable items, paint over graffiti, and manage unruly vegetation. The Scott Pierson Trail cleanups are not CNC's only cleanups. With the Tacoma Environmental Services and other neighborhood groups, the CNC is sponsoring a community cleanup at Franklin Elementary School, located at 1402 South Lawrence Street, on Saturday, May 19th. We'd be delighted to have your help unloading cars and trucks from 9 a.m. to 1:45 p.m. For more information, see the City of Tacoma website or contact the CNC.
Scheduled Scott Pierson Trail cleanups in 2018 are March 10th, May 12th, August 11th, and October 27th. Volunteers meet inside the Fred Meyer at South 19th and Stevens for a briefing before proceeding to the trail. Event details and registration are available here. Registration is highly encouraged.
Finally, our community has many groups, many active advocates for social justice, collaboration, and prospering. While neighborhood councils aren't your only resource, the Central Neighborhood Council exists to help residents like you, business owners, employees, and students navigate municipal services, resolve disputes, and make positive differences in our community. For additional information about the Central Neighborhood Council, below you will find our contact data.
Are you unable to attend the monthly forums? Consider participating virtually. Our website is global.gotomeeting.com/join/5188611133. We hope you enjoy our historical reflections on the Scott Pierson Trail and hope we'll see you at the CNC Forum, a community cleanup, or the Scott Pierson Trail cleanup. Thanks again, and have a happy rest of your year.
For more information on what's going on in your neighborhood, log on to the city's website, cityoftacoma.org/neighborhood councils.